as often, as frequently as they see out there, but we do need to be weather aware here in central New York because 10 years ago, just almost to the day, we saw it devastate a family and devastate a community, Pete, right here in central New York.
It doesn't happen often, but it can happen. And that's why we've been telling you about it over the last 24 hours. So, got the tornado warning in effect for another 7 minutes. To reiterate, another warning of tornadoes is possible. I'd actually be surprised, Megan, if there's not another tornado warning at some point between now and this evening.
Can we go through the EF, 1, 2, 3, 4, for people who are not familiar? 4 is the worst.
Five is the worst. Right? Yep. Give me a minute to... Let me get the exact thing of what... I mean, this is something that we would talk about afterwards. That's just a way of measuring how strong a tornado would be. You got something anywhere from a 0 to a 5, okay? Very rare to get anything EF2 or EF3 or higher, but it can happen, and we've got a lot of parameters that we look at that are pointing to, hey, we could get a tornado around.
And this has to do with in terms of the severity of a tornado, the wind speed and velocity and all of that,
and how much damage it caused. And typically this is something that's not issued with the warning. They don't say it's going to be an EF2 tornado. They just say tornado warning. And they'll have tags like catastrophic damage, or this is a mile-wide tornado, or it's a small tornado, or whatever it is. They use this scale, the EF scale, the enhanced Fujita scale, afterwards. They look at all the damage, go, oh, this is an EF3, or an EF2, or an EF0.
Right. So the maps that we've been showing you on the screen, and of course, are for central New York, which is our home here. However, Pete, as we widen out, are we seeing more of these remnants of what was Hurricane Beryl down to the south or out to the west that will be pushing up behind what we're seeing on our screen right now?
So here's the situation. Beryl is basically just a tropical system that's broken down. On the northwest side, you get a lot of rain that's steady and typically not severe stuff. On the southeast side, it's almost like being in a warm sector that has a lot of energy, a lot of juice, a lot of moisture, and it also has twisting wind speeds with height. And that's what makes this more unusual in central New York. It's not all the time. Even we have had landfalling tropical systems, Ivan, Irene, Sandy, but most of the time we're on the north and west side where we get rain and then that's it, and it's chilly. We're on the warm side where you get the sun out like we've had, and that just primes the atmosphere. Typically with any landfalling tropical system, you want to be on the right side or front side in terms of the landfall. And then on the southeast side, if you want to have the worst weather in terms of tornadoes, unfortunately, we are on that side, which gives us more opportunities for this.
What about, Pete, a microburst, which is something we have also seen, over the course of history several times in central New York. Certainly, we think about what happened out at the state fairgrounds and other parts of central New York, and that was a really devastating situation.
Right. I mentioned this before you came down, that the Labor Day storm, you don't have to have a tornado to have a major problem. The Labor Day storm was a perfect example of that. It was a derecho, which is a long duration microburst that goes across a large area, and it devastated the Syracuse area. What is it now? 25 years, more than that, 27 years?
98, yeah. I was a freshman at Syracuse University.
Oh, I've heard this story, yeah.
Yeah, they put us down in the basement of our dormitory.
Because there was a tornado warning issued for that.
Yeah, that was, it must have been, late August, September.
It was Labor Day.
Yeah, Labor Day, that's right. So I just arrived on campus. They ushered all of us down to the basement. We didn't really have any. It was our first weekend living on campus.
Okay, yeah, and, that's welcome to Syracuse.
We emerged the next day and saw trees down all across Syracuse University campus. We had heard about what happened at the state fairgrounds. So in this area, we have experienced some severe weather situations.
We've got a live shot of SUNY Oswego just to show you how threatening that storm up there is. I don't know if we can take that at some point. To look at this, you've actually got the winds. If you look, this is pointing north and west, this camera. And if you look carefully, the clouds are moving from right to left here, okay? That's a northeast wind at low levels, but the winds at upper levels are southwest. Remember twisting winds? That wind change direction, not just that, but other ingredients can come together to spin up a funnel cloud or tornado. Maybe even within this cell. It has been spinning over Lake Ontario, kind of on the right side off the screen there. I don't think we can move that camera. Yeah, so that's it. We're actually going to wrap this up, I think, because we're at 3 minutes before the tornado warning is going to expire.
Okay.
I think we should wrap this up. We're going to be here. If you can come back to me live. Violet's here. She's going to be going through, and if there's any potential for damage, she's going to be in Weather Authority 1, the Jeep there, and potentially even storm chasing, depending on the situation. We also have Josh Kozlowski in-house. So we've got you covered all the way around. The tornado warning right this second for Madison County is about to expire. If another tornado warning is issued for our area, we'll be back on the air.
And I will give you just one more update, Pete, before we
Yep.
go off the air in terms of power outages, because we've been monitoring National Grid and NICED. Erie County is now up to 26,336 people without power. That is a big jump in just the last couple of minutes since we last checked it. So there is the potential that you could lose power at home. Make sure that you have a cell phone, a mobile device, some way that you can keep in touch with family and friends. Make sure that you have a way that you can connect with us on air, on social media, on our website, Pete, because as you mentioned, we're going to continually update you throughout the afternoon. If we'll come back on air, right, if we have to, but we will be monitoring our social media channels and posting information that you need to know to keep you and your family safe.
Just one more thing, if you can come to me live again. This storm by Oswego, which we showed a picture of, you got to get inside in Oswego, can you please? I know there's no official warning for the city. There's no severe thunderstorm warning either, but there's about to be a huge gust front that comes through. Actually, could you move just a little bit? Oh, I thought we had you full screen. You were blocking the thing. Oh no, but now you can see it. There's Oswego right there. There's some. I wouldn't be surprised if damaging winds come through Oswego right now. And there's even a little twistiness to some of this wind as well. You know what? Let's stay on for a little longer and then bring Oswego back up. Bring up the Oswego webcam again if you could. That would be great, Paul and Matt up there. Look at all that lightning. Look at that. Okay, there's a ton of lightning, and there's also. I'm just going to bring up the velocity real quick. It's tough to see because there's so much lightning here, but you see how there's some reds and greens together here? That means the winds are spinning here, a little bit here. You can see this is coming right into Oswego. If we can bring in the Oswego webcam up, please, that would be great. Because even though there's no official warning, which really surprises me, I cannot believe Oswego County doesn't have a warning for this. Even just the edge of the county. There you go. It is pouring right now in Oswego. Remember we showed you this before and you didn't see anything? That's part of that system. And we'll just, I was gonna say, let's, stop, but let's just keep an eye on this for the next minute or two here. That is Hart Hall webcam from SUNY Oswego, which is right on the water. SUNY Oswego, beautiful campus. Lots of great things going on there. Obviously, you guys get a lot of lake effect snow, but right now you're getting slammed by some heavy rain and wind right there. Remind me again where you said all those power outages were?
So Erie County is
Erie, that's Western New York. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was where there was a tornado warning earlier, by the way.
Yeah. In terms of damage, Pete,
yeah.
We've been monitoring the national feeds that we get in and some of the video that we've seen from where Beryl came and the remnants. And in terms of concern about property damage too, because certainly that can happen during severe thunderstorms or, of course, in tornadoes and serious situations. Pete, let's talk a little bit about